Hello and welcome to the Blackout Podcast, where we get to talk to amazing people who do amazing things. And today I have Blessing Owowa, founder of Pearlz Designs. Thanks for coming to the podcast today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Oh my God, thanks for making my place look actually beautiful. Because it's always just drab. It's just one thing there. It's like, let's just get right into the fashion. How did you even get into making all these things you do?
Okay, so I've always loved fashion since I was a child, but my background is actually education. I taught for like 4 years before I decided to pursue fashion.
Right.
So it took me actually moving from one state to another in my home country, Nigeria. So I knew that I just need to go to fashion school to get the proper training if I'm going to really go be great in the fashion business. So I went to a fashion school for like 6 months plus, and then after that I went to intern in a fashion house for like a year. After that, I knew that I was ready to go all out and open my own brand. So that was when I started Pearlz Clothing and Accessories in 2017. Yeah, so I did that for 3 years. And
this was in Nigeria?
Yes, in Nigeria. So I moved there in 2020 and I needed to register the business. So somebody else has something close to, I think, Pearlz Clothing and Accessories. So that name didn't pass. Yeah. So because I really want to continue with Pearlz Clothing and Accessories. So I needed to now change it. So I came up with Pearlz Designs, and the business has been registered for almost 3 years now. I registered it in September of 2020, although I didn't start fully immediately because I was pregnant with my second child then. So I needed to wean him. I gave birth to him in December of that 2020. So I got introduced to the community properly in August of 2021 when I did my first pop-up market, with Tia Offshore. Yeah, so that was when I fully started the business as
hello world. Pearl. Okay.
So that's just my story.
Let's rewind to the fashion school. What did they teach you in fashion school?
A lot of things. That was where I learned how to make patterns. So now I don't need to go to the store to buy a ready-made pattern. I make my pattern from the scratch.
So rewind a little bit. What is a pattern?
So a pattern is, when you take the measurement of a person, you need to first draft it out on a paper. Before you now use the paper to that's just the short and long of it. Before you draft the person's shape. That's just the thing. You draft it on the paper, do all the manipulations you want to do.
Cut, and then
so you now use that to cut the fabric.
So you don't mess it up, pretty much.
Yes, so that's the thing. It helps you to manage the fabric, and then it helps you to also do all the manipulations you want to do. Some styles are so complicated that you need to make it on the paper first before transferring it to the fabric. Yeah.
Right. Okay, what else did you learn?
Okay, so after that, I learned the business aspect of fashion as well. Apart from the designing and learning how to sew, I learned the business aspect of fashion as well. So those are pretty much the things that we were taught.
So you're done. Did they get you the internship? Did you have to get it yourself?
No, I got it myself. So after I graduated and I was giving my certificate, I'm like, okay, I don't think I'm ready yet. I need to watch somebody that has been in it for long do it so that I really know how to go about it, because I really want to succeed in it. So I waited till I'm fully ready and I know that, okay, I think it's time for me to pursue it now before I set out to do it. Yeah.
Wow. Planning it out is rare. So I guess, okay, you're there for a year. What was the point, like what was it that happened that made you realize, okay, now I'm ready to branch out and do my own thing?
Yeah, so my boss then, the owner of the fashion house, he has a lot of clients that they are from like everywhere around the world. So although it's not really a big fashion house like that, but the guy is really good. So he gets most of his clients from everywhere around the world. So people come in, I see the way that he communicates with his clients. I saw the way he was going about his brand. And when I knew that I've learned as much as I needed to learn to be able to succeed in my own, because the thing is, I've learned over time that practical is actually different from theory.
Right.
Yeah, so it's theory is good, but it's good to really see someone doing it. That's the way I learn. So I tell people that most times I don't, when I see YouTube videos and all that, I don't really learn well like that. I like to sit down with you one-on-one to be able to like really gain that knowledge. That's the way I learn. So that was what actually informed my decision to go to a fashion house to see how it's being done one-on-one before I can launch my. Yeah.
And your internship, what were some of the things you had to do for that year that you were there?
Majorly is just to sit, to observe.
Really?
Yeah, so I'm not learning anything new. I already learned all I need to learn about fashion. Yeah,
right.
It's just to observe someone that was successful at it and see what made them a success at it. See the way they communicate with their clients, the way they because honestly, thinking about it now, I'm not sure I really learned anything fashion that is new from that person, but I can tell you that I learned a lot of things that has to do with relationship. Yeah, that's my major takeaway from that. My boss, the way he relates with his customer, and that actually made them come back. So it's very good with customer retention. And that's one thing I know I can't learn anywhere else that I took away from him for that 1 year. And I don't regret it because it's actually helping me now too. Yeah, as I'm building my brand as well.
So you planted that seed, now it's harvest time now.
Yeah.
Okay. You finished the year. What is the process for you to set up your thing?
Okay, so after I completed it, I worked at home for a while because I didn't have the money to like rent a shop right away. So I was home working from home. And after a while as well, I discovered that I started developing interest in accessories because what I went to learn in fashion school is just making outfits and all that. So I started developing interest in making earrings and bags and shoes and all that.
Wait, shoes?
Yes.
Wow.
So I can make shoes as well. I can make bags. I can make when I started developing that interest, I started with watching some videos. I saw that I wasn't going to learn that way. So, and the good thing was
YouTube for you.
Yes. And the good thing was that I just thank God that I've not like rented the shop then.
Right.
So I now went to
time.
Yeah. So I contacted someone I met at a training. Yeah, so I did like a weekend training of how to make shoes and bags and Ankara and accessories. So I saw the guy was very good. So I contacted him that I would like to do like a 3-month training with him. So I stopped my fashion business and I pursued that for 3 months.
Wow.
So I went to train with the guy for 3 months. And then, so when I eventually rented a shop and started my fashion house in Nigeria, I incorporated everything. So the accessories, the purses, and the bags. So, and the making of outfits.
Yeah. So you it's almost like building Lego. You take the little piece and you keep that piece and you put another piece and then you build this, not even Lego, like a house, brick, then you build this big house. Okay. Yeah. That's a great approach. Why is that the approach you use? I know it works, right? But how did you come about deciding to go that way?
Okay, so when I first went to fashion school, I didn't know that I was going to develop interest in accessories. Although I know that I like being creative. I like using my hand to create things and all that. So, but I didn't know that, okay, I was going to really love to make purses and bags and shoes and all that and accessories. So until I was opportune to like attend a free weekend training on how to make Ankara shoes and accessories and bags. So I'm like, okay, I think this is still in the same industry, like it's still in the fashion industry, and I really love this. So why don't I go to learn it properly and then incorporate it into what I already have? So that was what actually, informed my decision.
Okay, so I think the one that is throwing me off for a loop is the shoe thing. You want to talk me through the how you make a shoe? Because like what?
Yeah, so the shoe thing, so we have the process is pretty easy, but if you don't know it, you might get confused. So I'll just give you like a breakdown of it. So the first thing you do is to know the style you're making.
Style?
Yes. So for example, I don't know if I wanted
Do
to
you have a
like show.
shoe?
There's a shoe here. There's
We
an
can
actual
move this
shoe.
guy. Oh, there we go.
Yeah. So I'll just explain the process of making this.
Right.
So the first thing is to like have the picture of what you want to make.
You draw it.
Yeah, you draw it or you have a picture like
Actual picture?
The actual picture of it. And after that, you get your materials for it.
So
you
like
go to
for
the
this
market.
one,
So
you
for
get
this,
the...
So for this one, there's Ashoke. So it's Nigerian woven fabric.
Right.
Yeah, that's what Ashoke is. And there's
Leather, yeah.
original leather. And then you have, what's it called? The sole, the insole as well. So those are basically what make the buckle and everything. Those are basically what make this shoe up.
Right.
So you get the materials and then the tools you'll be using. So every shoe, before any shoe come together, you need a shoe last.
Well,
So it's like the representation of the foot.
oh,
So
that
it's like
thing that is like a that they put it
wooden,
inside.
it can be wooden, it
shoe.
can be plastic. Yeah,
They put it inside shoes
yes,
sometimes.
That's it.
Yeah.
So you need that. That's where you're gonna
Build the shoe on top.
Yeah. So you need like a masking tape, like a paper tape. You wrap it with it, and then you draw the pattern on it. You cut it out.
So it's pattern again.
Yes, it's pattern. Everything is pattern.
Okay.
So you kind of, after using like a paper tape to wrap it, then you draw the pattern you want on it, the shape of the shoe. So you're using the size of the leg you're building for. So if it's a 38 leg, you have to use a shoe size 30, a last size 38. Do you understand my point? So you, after drawing it on that, then you now remove it. That's why you need like a masking tape. You remove it from it, place it on paper, and then use that to now cut out your, if it's leather, cut out the leather part, cut out the Ashoke part, cut out. Then that's what you sew together, and then
you literally sew the
you
thing.
sew it. So there's a meshing for making shoe. So it's kind of stronger than the one.
How long would it take to make one like a shoe like that guy?
Typically, it might take a whole day. Yeah. Yeah, it can take a whole day to build this from the scratch, because the process is the pattern making.
Right.
After that, you have to cut it on the materials. After that, you join it together. After joining it, you now transfer it to the last again. So yes, to make sure that everything fits, puts the sole, and then before doing the final copulation. Yeah.
And then it stays there till you bring the thing out, then the shoe is formed.
Yes. I use a lot of gums.
Congratulations. Yes, gum. Oh my God. I remember I love the smell of gum actually. If it's
I
the
don't
gum.
like the smell. I have to like cover my nose. It's intoxicating.
Yeah. I heard that. I didn't
It's
even know.
very intoxicating.
Yeah, but I remember growing up and there was a shoemaker next door.
Yeah.
And but yeah, he also had like a thing that it has like 3 soles, but it's metal, and then you put the thing and
yeah. So what's the name again? I've forgotten the name, but of course they are so I don't use the hammer.
Yeah.
I use what we call what's the name? It's like hammer. It's hammer mallet. So that's what I use. That doesn't make as much noise like the hammer, the ones those guys use and all that.
Yeah, okay. So, you've done this thing, you started your business. How was that, I guess, You say you started at home. How was starting it back?
Yeah, it was. I don't know, but I feel that my friends and families were my first customers.
That's where you
Yeah,
start,
that's
right?
where, yeah. And then until I got a shop actually, before I started getting like real, should I say real customers? But
Everybody's real as long as they're
I
paying the
know,
money.
yes. So, but before people started getting to know about me, it was until I got a shop because I just hope that now that I'm here, that I'll get more. I won't say I'm not serious about social media, but social media is work for me. Yeah, so I didn't really maximize social media then. So it was when I got a shop that people started getting to know me. So all the time I was at home, it was just my friends and families and referrals from them. That's where I got my clients from. That's the way I get my clients and all that. But when I now moved into a shop, and that was for like 2 years. I was in the shop for like 2 years. I got a lot of customers. So when people drive by, when they walk by, they see what I've done and they want me to make something for them.
Make me a shoe. I think that's the one I'll be really interested in. Also, I like your jackets too, but let's.
Yeah.
So, what was the catalyst behind moving to Canada?
Okay. Interestingly, yeah, I've been planning to move to Canada since 2014. Yeah. So, my boyfriend as at then, who is now my husband now, he got admission to study in Dalhousie to do his master's, and then I also got admission at the same time. But he was giving visa, I was not giving visa.
Oh wow, that doesn't make
Yeah.
sense. I mean, you
we
were
didn't
not
apply
married then.
together. Yes.
Yes.
So I don't know what happened, but I guess everything worked together for good. Because if I had come then, I wouldn't have been trained. Yeah, because it was when I moved to Lagos. I moved to Lagos in 2015 actually. That was when I really pursued the fashion thing. Yeah, so I'm happy I didn't get in that time. So it gave me the opportunity to really like get trained properly and start the business before moving here. Yeah.
When did you move?
2020, February.
Right. So you moved and kind of started the business right away in a way?
Actually, yes.
Yeah.
So, it was the peak of COVID then. Yeah. So we were home. I bought my first machine here in Canada, and then I started sewing. I told people, my friends, my families here, I told them about it, and then I started making clothes for people. But just like I said, I didn't start it like the big way, like getting introduced to the community until August of 2021. But I've been making, while I was home, I was making clothes for people I know. Yeah.
Right. So again, start with friends and family
Yes, again.
So it's like you already created the blueprint in Nigeria. You just photocopy it here.
The same here. You're right. Because actually, it's still the same process that I underwent in Nigeria. Because the same thing, like I was working from home for a long time. I just moved into my own workspace.
Oh, where's your workspace?
It's on Windsor Street, 2632 Windsor Street.
Right.
Yeah.
Be sure to check it
4,
out.
Yeah. 2632 Windsor Street, Unit 4.
Unit 4.
Yeah.
And you sew right there?
Yes, I sew. That's where I work from now. I don't work from home any longer.
Yeah. They're like, oh, mommy, please.
Yeah.
You've been making all this noise and stuff.
Yes.
So let's talk about that first pop-up. How did you prepare for it? What were some of the things you put in place for that pop-up?
Yeah, so that first pop-up, I'm glad
Plus, you had just had a baby.
Yes, so my baby was 6 months then. 7 months. I had him in December, so it was 7 months then, going onto it. So the lesson for me from that pop-up was that, I came with this mentality that I'm going to, the same thing I was doing in Nigeria, making full African attire, dresses, everything all colorful and all that. So I came with that same mentality that I was going to make lots of colorful dresses and all that. But I didn't really get the reception, and that kind of made me sit back and kind of think that, okay, I think I need to like think about people that are making these things for, not what I love any longer. So I kind of did my market research and I discovered that people love, it's not as if Canadians don't love colors, but they don't want it to be overwhelming. So that was what bettered the idea of fusing both Western and African prints, which is the main goal of my business, to fuse both. Should I say main goal, or that's the, I don't know the word to use now, but that's the pillar that my business sits on. I don't know if that is correct, but so DB Pearlz Designs is based, it's fusing, like blending both African and Western prints together. So like 98% of my pieces are that way. I make them that I blend both African and Western prints together to make most of my pieces.
You know what? I've been holding back now because we are talking about merging. This is not a typical Nigerian.
Yes, so this is what I'm all about now. Yeah. Right.
Talk me through this guy, because it's perfect.
Yeah, so this sweatshirt.
It looks like you made it for me. But yeah.
So this is like I do tell people, this is like my all-time bestseller. Yeah, so this is a one-sleeved patterned sweatshirt. So when this idea came, I was changing the two sleeves at first. So at a point, I was like, okay, I think it will make more sense if I just change one sleeve. And then I did that. I saw that people really loved the one sleeve idea. And since then, I started making it.
I mean, it looks freaking awesome.
Yeah. So
it's warm too.
Yeah, thank you. It's really warm. So the piece I removed from the sleeve, I just use it as a lining.
So it's not like
it's not as if this one is light and this one is warm. Yeah. So it's both of them are the same feel.
Right. I feel it. Yeah. Where did the idea come from though? I know you said like the whole fusing of the East and West, but like why was the sweatshirt? How did you come up with it?
I started it in November of last year. My first piece was, I sold the first set in the Halifax at the Forum Market. Yeah, so, but before then, I made one for myself and people really loved it. So I made a lot and I sold it well. So the idea is actually to kind of infuse a little bit of color into sweatshirts as well. Yeah. So many sweatshirts are just a plain color, either blue, black, white, or something like that. So I really want to like fuse, to add a little bit of color. I don't want it to be overwhelming, but at the same time, I don't just want it to be bland. Yeah. So I just felt that, okay, let me just do the one sleeve thing, and people really love it.
So are there different patterns of it? Or
yes, I have different patterns. I have up to like 7 different patterns of it. So the pattern people love most is actually sold out, but I recently got more fabric of that same pattern. Yeah, because people really love that.
I mean, if it's selling out, it has told you everything print, you need to know. Yeah. I'm just putting it on myself and I feel the warmth. I'm
yes,
even wearing
it's really warm. Yeah.
I love it.
It's something everyone should have for spring and fall. You don't need to wear any other thing on it.
Right. You're just, good to go with keep just it on sweater. And it's like, and it's my color even. So anyway, hint. So you mentioned something. You were talking of this lady that put the sweater on.
Yes, Danny.
Social media, but earlier on you were like, social media is not a strength of yours. How are you navigating it?
Yes, so now I kind of, after that happened to me, I kind of discovered the strength of social media. Like, social media is a thing now. If you really want to, I found out that if you really want to like grow your business in this century, in this age, you really have to maximize the social media. So I think I'm better at doing the social media thing now, unlike when I started newly. So before, when I started newly, sometimes I can post maybe just once in 2 weeks. But now I kind of set a target for myself at least 3 times a week.
Oh my God,
and I make sure
you're
I
so
post on my
funny.
story every day.
And this is on your business page you're
Yes.
talking about, not like, you know,
So bad.
if it's private, I understand, you know.
It's so
But your
terrible.
business, you can't be like, hey,
Yeah.
every 2 weeks, they'll be like, oh, she has closed.
She's not serious. Yeah. And that's the feel I get from people. You're not a serious business owner. You're posting
closed,
just,
you're
yeah.
closed. So now that you have this, I guess, like a process for your social media, how do you prepare for it? The posts, things like that?
Yeah, so I got myself what's that thing? Sorry, the name just skipped my memory now. That thing you put your phone on.
Oh, I don't know the name, but
you
I know what you're talking about with the ring lights
yes, thing. Yes. So I got all the gadgets I need actually, so that I don't need to have someone to video me. I can do it by myself. And just so I get the content ready while I'm working. Sometimes when I finish somebody's garment before giving it out. And sometimes I tell my clients to take good picture and send it to me. So that's basically the way I create my content, and then I schedule the time I want to post and post it.
That is how to go about your business. Because
although sometimes I still feel I'm not doing enough, but at least I'm happy that I'm like 100% better than the way I was before.
You know, I always say, actually, I don't always say, this one I got from my mom. My mom is like, you are not going to be amazing tomorrow, but were you better than you were before? That is all that, like, oh, you know, before I used to walk 2, now I'm walking 3. 3 and 2 is different. So, you know, so that's it. Like, the difference 3 times a week versus
sometimes it's even worse. Sometimes I don't even post it. There was a day I went a whole month without posting.
Oh, they were like, yeah, no, so the business is cool. Even Instagram would be like, I don't know what this person is doing.
Yeah.
So another thing you do a lot of is like the markets. You've talked of the Halifax Forum, the farmers markets.
Yes.
How do you prepare when it's time for the markets? Like, how do you prepare? How do you even decide which of your garments you take to the markets?
Yeah, so over time, I've kind of, with market research here and there and what my customers want the most from me, I've kind of figured out the kind of outfit I need to make to sell at the market. So I don't have a challenge with that. So what I just make sure I do is that I make like multiple of those kind of garments. Like this sweater, I have a major market next week, Halifax Crafters. Yeah, so people come check me out at the Halifax Crafters Market. It's going to be at 1800 Argyle Street.
What day
Saturday
is it?
and Sunday next week. This coming
April
week, 22nd and 23rd.
Right.
Yeah,
okay.
I'll be at the market. So it's one of the biggest markets. Yeah. I was there last spring and I did so well there. So I'm going to be there again this year. So it's fixed for 22nd and 23rd. That's Saturday and Sunday next week.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm making more sweaters. I'm making accessories, earrings, making purses and things that I know that people really like. They want to get from me. So that's what I'm doing right now. That's how I prepare for the market.
So you keep saying I'm making. Is it all you? Like you're the person sewing pattern, all
everything
the things?
myself.
Oh my God.
Are you now?
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. Are you going to hire someone?
Definitely.
When that time comes, how are you going to decide who you know?
Thank you for that question. So I have the person that trained me, the fashion school I attended, so I finalized that talk with him because I'm really looking to getting into stores before the plan is to get into stores before summer of this year.
Wow.
Yes. So I already have that conversation with him that we already have that planned out actually. So he's going to hire, so that means that he's going to be the one to like manage everything. So mine, we just, the way ready to wear works out. Mine is just to tell them the design I want, send the design to them, tell them the sizes I want, the number of pieces I want, they create it and send it to me.
It's funny you mentioned that. So I watch TV a lot, as you can tell. But there's a TV show that I just watched randomly, and it is about fashion design. So basically, every week they will sew stuff, but they have this thing. I can't remember the name, but basically they kind of like design the thing, and then they'll drop it, and then somebody
Of course,
somewhere will want
the
sew
only
the
way
thing.
one can scale in this kind of
Right.
business is to do division of labor.
Mm.
Have yours as the creative director, the owner, as I am, is just to have an idea of what you want. Is either you hire people or you contract it out and they do it for you and give it to you. So everything is division of labor, because I can't do everything myself for
Right,
life.
you know what I'm saying? I will do this. I'm like, wait, you do the
Yes.
earring, you do the shoe,
So for
you do the
now,
wallet,
because I'm
you do
still
the
very
this thing.
small,
Yeah,
I can still handle it myself. But there will come a time, which I believe, hopefully very soon, that I will have to contract it out to people that I know.
No, it's coming.
do.
I can feel it because you do quality stuff. One thing though, I noticed this about, especially when someone is doing something they love, it's that they struggle with pricing. Was that something like, how do you navigate your pricing when it comes to your outfits and your garments?
I know when I came here, a lot of people were like, you're making this thing with your hand. Why are you pricing yourself too low? Like, people had, many people don't even believe. When I started, they didn't believe I was doing it myself, because they were like, how many hours do you spend doing this? And you're charging $20 for it? Don't you rate your time?
Wow.
So that actually made me to, sit down and thought about it, that, if I'm really going to succeed at this, although I know it's my passion, I love it, but at the same time, this is what I do full time.
This is literally your job.
Yes. Yeah. Now I have a shop. I have to pay the rent, the overhead and everything. So I'm like, I need to, So recently I actually kind of went over my pricing again, and I adjusted it here and there. So, but I'm still one thing I want my brand to be known for is that people get value for their money. Yeah. So if you're spending $50 for something, you know that you're getting the value of that $50. Yeah. So
why is that important for you?
It's important for me because I don't want to be seen as someone, an entrepreneur that rip people off. Do you understand?
Yeah, I make it for $1, I sell it for 100.
Yes. Yeah. So at the same time, I want to make profit from what I do. So I want a situation whereby people, if you're getting a $500 coat, you know that, yes, this coat is really worth it. I'll use a very good quality material for you. And I make sure that you know that, this 500, I didn't waste it. I got the value for that 500. Yeah. So that's it for me.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so I mean, we've sort of touched it in a way, talking about, sending the people that the person you worked with to kind of, what are some other things that you have in the pipeline coming?
Yeah, so I have my summer collection. Like I said earlier when we were talking, so I'm planning to release it before summer, or first week of June actually. That's even late. I'm thinking I'm going to release it before the end of May.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so that's the thing for me. And secondly, I'm looking to get into stores. I'm in talks with a lot of stores. Yeah, so that I can get the word out there, many other people to see my product. As a sole proprietor, I don't have many people still don't know me, although I feel that a lot of people know me now, but a lot of people still don't know me. So, and I feel the place to kind of spread my wings out there is to get into stores that people know, and they go there to shop. So people will see my pieces there as well, and that's where they get to know who DB Pearlz Designs is. Yeah.
I mean, you pretty much have mastered this and turned it into a science. It's almost like you know the pattern you're going to cut.
Yeah.
You know the people you're going to talk to, and you know the next steps and the next steps and the next steps.
Just hopefully everything works together the way I planned it. Yeah.
I mean, you put in the work. One thing I've noticed is that, as in, the amount of work might seem onerous, it might seem difficult, but it pays off, right?
At the end of
the day. It pays off.
Yeah.
Like for instance, the sweater, I don't know how long goes into making it, but it looks like it's really it's detailed.
Yeah.
And you can see in the amount of work that's put in that is looking this good. So it's kind of the same thing. It's going to pay out. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to let you go because you've had a very long day. But before I let you go, though, I want to ask this question. There's a kid out there watching. It's like, oh man, Blessing is doing these things, and one day I want to be like, a designer like her or whatever they want to be, what would you tell that kid?
Yeah, I would just tell the kid to keep the dream alive. Yeah. Every dream is valid, and at the end of the day, it will pay off. Although it may not look like it from the beginning, but eventually it will pay off. Like one of my favorite quotes, like I always tell people, is by Bo Bonnet, and it says that success is not what you have, it's actually who you are. So if you know that, because it's one thing to feel and it's another thing to know. If you know that you're going to be successful, then you will be successful. Yeah, it's just to have a plan. Always look at the, I don't know if one other thing I believe is in the Holy Book, and it says, I will paraphrase it now, like write your plan down and run with it. Yeah, I really believe that saying a lot. Yeah, and it's been helping me. Yeah. So anything is possible. Just believe, and don't just believe alone. Plan it out and run with that plan. Yeah, run with it. Yeah.
Well, obviously, you've been running with your plan for years now, and it's paying off.
Thank you.
Blessing, thank you so much for coming to the podcast today.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I really appreciate your time. Thank you for having me.